Cool. Okay, guys, so here's the situation. Just a normal weekender shade tree mechanic here. My wife gave me a call. Was it last week? We have a 2007 GMC Denali XL with a 6.2 liter fuel engine in it, and she gave me a call that one of the gauges wasn't working. So I'll show you guys what I got right here. The digital display is also not working. I might do a video later on how to get that fixed and changed. You got to send it off to somebody. But right now we're worried about this one right here, which is the oil pressure. So if I start the engine, everything else kicks up. But as you can see, that doesn't move. Now there's different things that happen here. Sometimes in the research I've done online, it'll stick to 80 and just be pinned there, or it'll flop back and forth really quick or really slow, but it'll be continually moving. My problem, as you can see, it's not moving at all from 0. So my wife called me really quick, kind of freaking out. I was at work and I said, well, check on the temperature. Is that okay? Yeah, that was okay. Pull it to the side. I met up with her and everything seemed like it was fine, so I followed her home. Talked to a couple friends and they said it might be that sender unit. I researched it. All the research I find on taking care of this stuff tells me that I got to take the whole top end out of the engine compartment. And for mechanics, it takes about a half day, which means for me, it's going to take, heck, a lot longer than that. Okay, so this here's what we're looking at. I took the cover off the top, the plastic engine cover there. There's just 2 grommets that hold it on right there in that position. And the oil pressure sensor switch, whatever you want to call it, the sender unit is back down in there. And this is what everybody always complains about. It's a little sound barrier thing, and most times you got to take all this off, the intake and everything, which just means that you'll want to replace the gaskets and everything when you do that. But I found one mechanic that can do it without taking all that off, and this is what he used. And I will tag him to the bottom of the video and the links below. 1 1/16. I'm using one of my impact drivers, a 1/2 inch universal, a little 1/2 inch extension, a reducer from 1/2 inch to 3/8, and just a normal, angling ratchet here. Mine does it in 2 spots, whatever, it doesn't matter. But that'll be just enough to get back in there and get that out without taking the whole intake. So if it works, I'll post it. If it doesn't, you'll never see the video, so it won't matter. And this is what the culprit looks like right here. So you can get it pretty cheap online. I got it here locally at a parts store in case something does go wrong, or the warranty, it's really easy for me to take back. They routinely had it in stock, and again, it goes in the 1 1/16 deep socket, and but that's what she looks like. It does not come with the grommet. That will come off of the old when I get out of there, but let's go ahead and give it a shot. Okay, there are 3 hoses I'm going to have to take off. This guy right here with the green on it, fuel. This guy here, a main fuel line. On that, there's a piece you got to take off there. It's an easy release, but that piece I'm pointing at up on top, that kind of makes sure it holds it all together. It's a safety. And this guy here, kind of the breather, goes back there, over there, and those come off all easy. And then should be able to try to get back in there. With my big meat hands, we'll have to wait and see though. Back. Right down in there. Way down in there. Poke it right now. You can see the electrical connections down there. Got to take the electrical connector off of it, and then it just unscrews out of there. We'll see if we can get her done. But that's where it's at. This is a sound piece that everybody complains about, and it's back up underneath that. So as you can see, I don't have a lot of room up in the back to get my hands up in there, but that's what's going to have to happen. Okay, so the first piece you have to get off is this part of the fuel line here. To get that off, you're able to spin this, and you just have to get a screwdriver, sorry about that, up underneath here, lift up, releases those guys, and then it slides right off of that keeper. So that's how you get that off. Okay, the next guy is just that part of the fuel line here, a little retention pin or a clip up under here. When I saw this, just should pop up. There it goes. And you can see right there, it kind of holds everything together on you. Actually, I want to drop this guy. And that just pops right off there. That's how you get that off. Okay, so to get this part of the fuel line off here, what you have to use, this part snaps onto here, and it's got a couple fingers on the inside of this part. I don't know if you can see those. And I was trying to get them off with a screwdriver, but I didn't want to mess any of them up. So you get this fuel removal tool, just a piece of plastic. You can get them metal. They look like a little set of pliers, kind of. You snap it over the top of this. I don't know if you can see that. And then you push it in, and that releases these, allowing it to slide right off. So this is a 5/16 fuel line, so that's the one you need to go on there and slide it on over. That's how you get that off. I'm sorry, I said that bad. This is a 3/8 fuel line there, not a 5/16. That's too small, so it's a 3/8 job. That's the size tool you need. And like I said, this comes in plastic, or you can get metal ones. I just got a plastic dog on this guy. So I was able to get back in there. I don't know if you can see a little yellow grommet. That's the one I got to save from inside the sensor. So again, that's where the sensor's at. Already got the clip off the top, the connection, so now I'll try and get in there and see if I can't get that out. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. This is the contraption I have here. Let's see if I can't reach back in there over the top of that guy. There we go. It's already over the top of it, and as you can see now, just like in the video I watched, this is what you have sticking out of the end there. It's the remaining part I have left. Let me make sure you can see that. Take in a bit. Take this guy. Well, cool. It broke loose pretty easy, so now I'm just trying to do the rest of it here by hand. Whoops. That's where it went. Down. All right, so that's a culprit right there. And again, there's that little rubber washer, or grommet, whatever you want to call it, that I got to get out of there. So go in there carefully with this guy, pull it out, there you go, and I'll put her in the new one. Okay, there's the new one. I'll put a shot of dielectric grease in there. I don't know if you need it or not, but I did. And so now we'll try and just get it in there by hand. So now this time, I'm literally just going to try and reach around the back, back it up till I feel it snap in, and then go ahead and try and get it in there. Hopefully not drop it in the process. Oh yeah. Cool, index it went right in. Money. Cool. Get it as tight as I can by hand. Here, now I'll go ahead and put that little tool arrangement back on, and we'll get her all buttoned up. Ugh. Okay, so make sure she's tight in there, or as tight as you want her to be. And try and get her all back off here in one piece if I can. Didn't happen. 2 pieces. I'll take 2 pieces. Okay, cool. She went back in. We got it all snapped in. Luckily, it ended up being, when I got it, this is the old one here, but it ended up being indexed to where it was, the tab was facing right towards me. I hope that's in focus or not, but which made the snap and the electrical connection on really simple. Just checked it again for tightness, and so now we'll hook up those fuel lines that we disconnected in the earlier part and get her back going again. Let's see if she'll start up and if that relay or the pressure sensor will work on us or for us. Okay, so one of the hoses that I didn't play around with too much or describe to you how it comes off, it sits right up here on top and it connects in the back right down there. This part comes underneath and connects right there. And these just, they just push on, push off. So that was one of the parts we had to get out of the way in the beginning. So now getting back on this fuel line here, just grab this guy and press it on until it clicks, which is right there. Then we had that lock like I was showing you guys earlier. That goes in this way, you push it in this way, that way, and then you clamp it in. That holds that baby in place. Next is the one here with the green top on it. Just kind of fish this guy back down and through where it needs to be, which is down there. Get it up to about the right spot, and then push on it, and it should just click into place. And then we'll just go ahead and connect this guy back up where it had to go. Right back in there somewhere. Okay, so now in the video that I watched, it must have been actually throwing codes. This car was not throwing codes, but just to alleviate that and make sure we don't have any problems, I'm just gonna disconnect the battery. Sure be easier to disconnect the negative, but on these it's kind of a pain in the rear. Disconnect it for a couple seconds. We'll put it back on, tighten her back up, and then we will fire up and see if she starts registering here. Keep your fingers crossed. Okay, so back in the car we go. Moment of truth. Let's check it out. Get you guys a little bit closer. Oh, look at that. There she goes. Fantastic. Cool. Well, got it all done. It took me just under 35 minutes. And again, I don't have any major mechanical skills or anything. I'm just changing oil, brakes. I can do clutches, you know, serpentine, just normal stuff. Shade tree mechanic here from the house. So, but again, when I was researching this, people were talking about having to take the intake off, everything off the top of the engine to have access to it. Mechanics are saying that the job for them takes a half day, which for me meant all weekend. That's just the reality of it. And I didn't have the desire to do that. So I kept researching, and I found this one mechanic that told me how to do it using this idea, which again, I will attach his link below. I'm sure his video is a lot better than mine without getting my fat, sweaty head in the way sometimes. But once again, what he used is a 1 1/16 deep socket. It doesn't have to be an impact. That was just what I had sitting around the house. 1/2 inch universal, 1/2 inch short extension there. Then I had a reducer from 1/2 inch to 3/8. And then I just have this ratchet here that goes bendy. Just helps you kind of get back in there a little bit more. Again, they were saying it was going to take, some of these guys are saying it takes them a half day to do, and then you got to replace gaskets and everything else. This was a tremendous amount easier, very inexpensive, and like I said, it took me less than 35 minutes to do it with no experience doing it before. So once again, just be patient with it, especially getting the thread started, and it shouldn't be that big of a deal. All right, thanks a lot.